Signs down. Signs down, family. I want you to know what you did today. At a time when this country is burning up with injustice, at a time when we're surrounded by federal authorities, by national authorities, by local law enforcement, you rose up. And when you are asked what you were doing, when everyone was rising up in the country in 2020, leading to one of the most important elections in the world, you will have an answer. You will tell them that you took this intersection on this day.
That's right.
And that you rose up.
That's right.
And that we got bigger than the hate. See, I had to take my braids out because I know those white supremacists don't know the difference. Hair is like a cloaking mechanism to them. They can't recognize none of us.
Switch it up on them, Future.
I walked in, I just slipped right in, nobody even noticed.
Hey, that's right.
That's what this glorious melanin in this hair can do.
Amen.
But I'm going to tell you something, because some of you may have remembered, but I really want us to locate this conversation in something. You see, poverty is on purpose.
That's right.
Yeah.
Poverty is on purpose.
Right.
I want to rap with you a little bit about the catastrophe that is capitalism. You see, the old American gods of greed, the worshippers of that, they have become bloated by their own bigotry. And it is our job to level them with liberation. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah. And we feel you.
Because what this virus has done, because I know they say, well, you know, this virus has shown how fragile we are as people, you know. No. What this virus has done has acted as a revelation. The catastrophe that is capitalism. You see, the virus isn't this country's undoing. All it did was expose it. It was a revelation of the catastrophe of capitalism. A system that we have been paying into for our years, and with our blood and our sweat and our tears. And I know that sometimes it can be a little tricky because we don't really, the kinds of things that people try to push back on us against when we talk about capitalism are so small and juvenile. We'll say capitalism is bad because people are working themselves to the bone and still in poverty because poverty is on purpose. And they'll say, well, you still take the bus, don't you? And you still wear clothes, don't you? You're a part of this capitalist system. Yeah, because we were born into it. But here's the thing. We are born into a system. All of us. We are born into a script, into a story. Yes? Yes. But it is our job to step off script and to call out those systems for injustice. Right. Our job is to reveal the catastrophe that is capitalism, to say, in the time of a pandemic, in a time when this system is showing us what it really believes in and who it really believes in, when they're telling us to work, when they're telling us to work, when it risks our lives, so that the billionaires of this country and of this world can keep building wealth, fueled by bigotry. It is our job to expose that, to be the revelation, and to say, no more. No more. No more. Are you with me? You see, the virus acted as a revelation. And this is what I want to tell you, and this is what I want us to know. What these families tell us every day, and the pain that we carry. There is no resolution for the loss of a child and the loss of a life that has been stolen from us by the system. There is no resolution for that. There is no justice there. And I know that we have to call for it. But the true justice is life and quality of life. And so what I want us to know is, for these families, there is no resolution. And for us, we have got to stop looking at the system for a resolution. When what we need is a revolution. Are you with me?
Yeah!
We need a resolution. No more. What we need is a revolution of the spirit and a revolution of the system. Are you with me?
Yeah!
No more working ourselves to the bone. Poverty is on purpose. It is designed. Poverty is manufactured, and built into that are the hierarchies of the systems that we look at each other and we say, I'm going to get mine. Even if it means you're not going to get yours. I'm going to get mine, because we've been taught to believe that power is standing on the necks of other people to get closest to a status quo that was never ours to begin with.
Right.
And that would never be ours.
Right.
I'll tell you something about what I know. The only thing that we have, that we truly have, bigger than this system, is each other.
That's right. That's right.
We are our greatest resource, and that is why, right now, every effort and every attempt is made to shut down the progress in Portland, which is why we're all here. There's nothing more dangerous to the system than when we come together. Nothing more dangerous. You want to know how I know? Because this entire society, American society, this country, is built upon keeping us apart. Segregation is not just some accident. It's on purpose, because we are so dangerous when we come together. Oh, we are so dangerous. And the thing that we've got to decide with ourselves and for each other is that we are not going to get bought out as we have in the past. You see, when this country was new and when this country was being founded, you could find indentured laborers who are largely white people, poor, cut down by the wealthy in the system, working with enslaved black people, saying these are not conditions that we are willing to accept. We will not allow for this to happen. And so we saw revolutions happening. We saw things like Bacon's Rebellion. We saw it. And then what did the wealthy do? What did the wealthy do? They separated us. They said, oh, what is it that you want? Really? Oh, you want a little bit of power? We can give you that. We can give you a little bit of power. We'll give you some corn, which was like the shit back then. You know, we'll give you some land. And then the land that they gave these poor white people was the land on the furthest outskirts of this new American society. And that land was land that they didn't have the manpower to protect from native people who were protecting their own land. And so they used these poor white people to betray black people who were fighting for liberation, and then gave them land so that they could fight and continue the agenda of genocide against the native people. Do you see what they did? Segregation is part of the system.
You did?
And segregated societies lead to segregated thinking. And so we don't see each other anymore. And we don't think about each other anymore. And we don't fight for each other anymore. We don't have to look at each other anymore. And so many people in this country and around the world can live like that. You see, here's the thing. What I need them to know, and what so many of you have known now, is you have decided not to forfeit a part of who you are to assimilate into a system that was never made for you in the first place. I'm going to tell you something. The holiest thing that we do, and the holiest thing that we have our hearts, we have our minds, we have our souls. And that tension that you've been feeling is trying to get us in alignment with our purpose. I'm going to tell you something. And I may have said this already, so I'm going to say it again because I need you to hear it. If the mind is the muscle of the soul, then the ability to think for ourselves and to see the world as it is, not as we were told, and to see ourselves as we are, and not as we were told we are. That is the holiest thing. The ability to think for oneself then is the holiest thing that we can do, and the opposite the most heinous. We are no longer going to forfeit a part of who we are to contort ourselves into a status quo that was never made for us. We're not going to perform for a system that does not care for us. Oh, yes. Evil requires a performance. Oh, it does. It requires a tuxedo, as Toni Morrison said. It requires that we dress it up.
Right.
That's how we know that it's injustice. What I am asking you to do and be, and why we're here today, is to be the thing that you've been denied your whole life. It's to be yourself. It's to be yourself. That's it. No more shrinking. No more trying to contort ourselves into a status quo that was never meant for us. No more bankrolling the system of bigotry. No more buying.
Hey, come over here. Amara, come here.
Remember this day. Remember this day. Remember the time that we stood out in the sun. I chose the wrong day to wear my hair out. Because you understand that no matter how hot it is, the only burn that lasts is the burns of bigotry.
Well?
No, we are a healing movement.
I say.
You understand? Capitalism is a catastrophe. And so it is our job, as these bloated American gods of greed and bigotry are being leveled, it is our job to bring forth the revolution. You, the defenders of the dead and the liberators of the living, it is you. And I know we talked about allyship, and I'm tired of that, because I want to tell you something. When we talk about the movement, it's not just the 20 or so of us that show up. It is all of you. It's not just those of us in Black Lives Matter. I want to ask you something. When we say Black Lives Matter, who do you think we're talking about? It's all of you. And so you have to fight for this movement, not adjacent, but, but as if it is your own.
Yes.
Because it is. We are the movement. We got our own stripes. I've watched that puppy turn from a little tiny baby into a whole ass dog. We are growing.
We are growing.
We are growing. We are growing up.
Yes.
We are growing out. And so we have to let go of dated language and dated ways of relating to each other. We are married now. We are married. You are married to this movement. You weren't just making a connection. You were making a commitment. And it's time that we started taking things very personally. Because if they come against me, they come against you.
Yeah.
And if they come against you, they come against me. That's what it means to make a commitment to each other. That's what it means to be married. We are a unit now. And we are a unit here, and we are a unit in Portland and Chicago and anywhere else. An attack there is an attack here. And that's why we're here, yes? This is your movement. This is our movement. This is our time. This is our time. We're not just fighting this administration. We are fighting a belief system.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be on us to come up with a new one. New language. To let go of dated models of organizing and dated models of being in relationship to each other. Because remember, it's not just about what you stand for, it's about who you sit with. We are a family. And there's going to be rise up.
Rise up.
We're going to rise up. Because remember, we don't need a performance. We don't need to meet hate with a performance. No, we don't. And we won't. All this work requires you to be, because remember, we don't have to make people see the light, we just have to be it.
Right.
All this work requires you to be is you. The thing that you have been denied in a system such as this. I have found myself in service to this movement. I have found myself in service to you. And now you are being called. And so we must answer the call every single time, because it's time that we start to take things very personally. And I'll end on this, because clearly I'm feeling myself today. Going to be easy. I need you to understand how beautiful you are to me and to us, and how beautiful this work is. Because this life and this work, truly, if we'we've learned anything in these moments when an economy has been stalled, and they would throw us out, and they would use our bodies so that billionaires can continue to grow rich.
Speak.
I want you to remember in this time, and while we're facing what should be another lockdown, to keep people safe, that they were willing to pile up our bodies in unmarked graves. They were willing to throw us away. And they will continue to do that so long as we let them. And every time that we fight,
We win!
every time we fight,
We win!
if we fight,
We win!
if this moment has exposed anything, it is that this work, this person that you are becoming, this movement that we are building, it is the only thing that ever truly matters. This will be the work that you remember in your last days. And my job and your job is to make sure that those last days are a long time from now. We deserve to die well.
Yeah.
To live life, long life. Remember this feeling that you have, and use it. Use it. Use it as you feel isolated. Use it as you feel alone. Use it as you're being seduced again to just disappear yourself into a capitalist system, because that is the training that we've received our whole lives. Remember that flicker. See yourselves as we see you. See yourselves as the movement, not adjacent to it, but as it. You are the revolution. You are the bricklayers and the foundation builders of the revolution that our people have been calling for since the making of this country. Know that. See yourselves as that. All power to the people, y'all. All power to the people. Black Lives Matter.
I hate that I even got to come up here and make announcements after Future. Because clearly our folks who have already shown us that this binary system that we living in is false, are also showing us that the rest of these systems that are containing and oppressing us are false, and that we must create and build new ones. So please give it up one more time for our siblings who are showing us that future! So real quick, I'm just going to do a couple real quick announcements, and we closing out because we've been out here for almost 3 hours. So, number one, I want to say that you all, I want to thank many of you who showed us today what solidarity, what this movement, what our future, what us keeping us safe looks like, right? All y'all folks who got in between the agitators, all y'all folks who made the perimeter to shut down the street. Y'all see the folks with cars over there who blocked us off. Make sure that we didn't get hit. Right? I want to thank and salute y'all because that is truly what this solidarity looks like. I want to also name that there are folks who have consistently been supporting us with sound, PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation, and the crew. The crew also, I don't know if y'all got a name, but like Stu and, oh, them two. With the other folks with the sound, with the trucks and stuff, Stu and all y'all, Sarah and everybody, appreciate y'all. I also want the green hats. NLG, our legal observers, the green hats, who are making sure that they're watching, right? These pigs, I want to salute and appreciate y'all. And also I want to especially salute the pro bono interpreters up here, our American interpreters. And I say sometimes at meetings, that there's no level of woke, including for us in the movement, there's no level of woke that we get to and then we're aware of all oppression and we're aware of all accessibility needs and we're aware of all the ways that we need to be making this world better. And I want to salute these folks for continuously showing up and continuously reminding us about our duty to uplift and to center also our disabled brothers and sisters, our folks who right? So I want to salute y'all for that. I also want to remind y'all that this continues. We're here today in solidarity with our folks around the country, but we also have battles to fight in our very own city, right? So we will be here, not here, we will be in front of the Hall of Justice, Injustice on Wednesday at 3 p.m. to demand justice for over 600 folks who have been murdered by law enforcement in Los Angeles County in the last 7 years. That's coming on Wednesday. More actions to continue to push for police-free schools, to continue to push to defund our sheriff, to continue to push to defund LAPD are all coming. So be on the lookout, and we will see you in person on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And now, as we always do, with every Black Lives Matter Los Angeles event, we always open with libations, and we always close with Asada. So we're going to pass to our youth to close us out in the Asada chant.
So we're going to do a chant called Asada. It's an affirmation of strength because we know sometimes we feel powerless and we need to remind ourselves that we always have to come back to that space of power. So Asada Shakur left us these words before she was exiled in Cuba. And we're going to start out in a whisper, repeat after me in the same tone, and we're eventually going to yell. It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Ashe.
Aye.